So I've been watching a lot of videos concerning what's going on over there in Burkina Faso. They have a very charismatic leader, Ibrahim Traore, and I've been a bit excited for them. I wish the best for the Burkina Faso people and for their leader to be safe. It seems like he's been doing a lot of great things for his country and his people in the face of incredible and powerful opposition. So they have a long road ahead of them because the European powers aren't about to give up that region that they have been exploiting for decades easily. No, they're not going to just let that go. Too many billions that they're missing out on, but definitely wish the best to for the Burkina Faso people and their present leader. He was not, to my understanding, so-called democratically elected. He was put himself into power or whatever by military coup. So at this time, Burkina Faso is being run and led by the military. They call them so-called juntas, whatever. I listen to the comments on the various videos that are being made about the situation in Burkina Faso, and most are very supportive of them. So I was just thinking, I don't know how true it is, but I heard that some of Black American quote-unquote allies have been going back and forth to that nation and talking with its leaders. Now, I don't know if this was before the coup, during or after. I have no idea. So I can't comment on that much. I look at the comments and I see a lot of people who are from different parts of the United States making comments of their loyalty and support for this great nation, this great African nation, in their fight for sovereignty and their right to be free of European and the West control of the United States, okay? Western control. So the main country that so-called colonized Burkina Faso is the French. So I don't know a lot about that history, but I know that they and Western powers have been exploiting the region for decades. What I was, my thing is, I'm on the fence about a lot of things. Like I said, I've been on different platforms, Ron and Viva, Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso, and there's nothing wrong with that. But today, the weirdest thing happened, and it's like, it shocked me kinda. I didn't really understand it. Now, I'm a very spiritual person. Every now and then I'll get a spiritual download. Spirit talks to my spirit, whether I listen or not. Now, spirit can be, you can say most high angels or ancestors, whoever. It is the part of your existence that knows everything about you, more than you could ever know. They know what's down the road. They know where you've been through, where you've been. And concerning where you're going to end up on the current path that you're on. And a lot of times that little voice comes in to warn you, just to give you an update, or give you some pointers. I can name a lot of times when I've been in situations, my spirit came through and said, do this, and it helped. It helped. So I that spirit is very strong in me, and I try to listen to it most times. I don't always. I'm stubborn, and a lot of times when I've been stubborn, I'm stubborn in the face of hearing from them over and over again. I end up bumping my head real hard. So I was watching a video about Burkina Faso again, and Spirit said to me, what's going on over there has nothing to do with you. And that you have no idea what's really going on, what's really behind it. Spirit said you have no idea, and it has nothing to do with you. So I'm like, why Spirit, why so? Because I felt like it was a little hostile to me. I'm like, wow, why hostility? I never said it had anything to do with me. I'm just a supporter, online supporter. And maybe Spirit had to snatch me back into some form of reality or whatever, because there was a video talking about how the Burkina Faso people raised $220 million for Ibrahim Traore and his projects. And I wrote on the video, I put on the video that how can other people from other countries donate? I would like to, to donate, whatever I have to the cause. And I got a message up under what I wrote saying you should go to Burkina Faso. They got plenty of opportunities, and they don't really need outside help. Got plenty of opportunities. Okay. Oh, I didn't, I could have got a little offended by that. I'm very sensitive, but I didn't. I appreciate whoever that was who put that little piece down. But after that, my spirit kind of got on me. Let me tell you something about Black American people, African American, Negro, whatever you calling yourself today. I'm going to tell you something about yourself. You have in your mind, because it has been brainwashed and programmed in there, that you can actually affect change in African countries. Now, I know that some of our people have gone to Africa and built schools, and Oprah Winfrey, Serena, I believe she built a school, and other projects that we have done over there in Africa. But it's like it's one thing to be assistant, especially if you're asked. But it's a whole nother thing to come across as you having the answers for these people. They need you. You've done so much. You go there with your money and you build this and that. You know what? I have heard so many stories of our people being taken advantage of in particular countries where they're going and creating jobs and hiring the African locals, and even killed, being murdered. I kind of feel that, no, I don't feel that. I don't kind of feel. we've been brainwashed all the way around about Africa, whether or not we think ignorantly that it's a continent full of AIDS and poverty and starvation, or whether we think that is, we glamorize it, or not so much glamorize it, but there's another word for it. It skips my mind. But you put it on a pedestal, and none of it is real. None of that is real. You're just, you people who are into the Kemetic philosophy and just idolizing ancient Egypt and stuff like that, going around wearing ankhs and symbol you don't have no idea what it means. You think you do, you don't. And I kind of feel like that adoration from the so-called conscious and Pan-African community has given a very false image of Africa on the other side, whereas you can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm mad because that word keeps escaping me. It's right on the tip. Oh, there it is. Romanticizing Africa from the world, from the small and limited lens of the greatness of ancient Egypt. So, all Africans, they're something just super, magical about them all, irrespective of their countries and different countries and cultures and languages and stuff like that. We all put them in a box and come at Africa, a vast continent of 54 different countries, like one country. And all it does is it sets you up to be laughed at, to be hated on, to be talked about lower than an animal, and to be used and abused. As a rule, there are a few exceptions. When I say a few, I mean a very, very few. As a rule, Africans don't see us as their long lost brothers and stuff like that. I don't care what they say. You might have one or two who think that way, but the vast majority, over 95%, they don't think like that. They don't even claim the tribe that's sitting in the same nation down the road from them, because they're different. They might have a different language and culture altogether. They might have more similarities. It just depends. They might have some gripe with this particular tribe that whereas something happened decades ago and they still have these grudges. But the African mind is totally different from ours. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive to at least just be able to go our separate ways. If not, get along. Doesn't mean that you can't find a good African mate, in which here in the States, outside in Africa, you better be damn careful, because most of them are coming to you to use you. Doesn't mean we can't be friends, but it does mean that we need to stop this mindset of my African brother. No, you can't don't just claim them. Those people are different. Your people don't look like you, they think like you. And a lot of Africans don't want nothing to do with you anyway, because they tribal. And then some, even though they might not care about you, they see somebody they can use. And that's exactly what's been happening to so many of us. Do you know that Africans they're more closer in culture. They have more affinity in culture with Asians than they do with black American people. Even here in the States, they are more like white people than they are us. They just like white people. They're not like us. They even have more cultural affinity with a Mexican than they do us. I remember hearing this Mexican man talk about it. He said that Africans they have a culture similar to ours. They like soccer, we like soccer. He was just going down the list. Just because somebody looks like you don't mean that you can claim them and assume that they are a benevolent energy. People have gone to Africa and have gotten killed with that stupid idiocy in their mind. So all of this, knowing all of this and more, takes me back to my spirit, talking about what's going on over there ain't got nothing to do with you. And for my spirit to say that, knowing that they know everything, they're all knowing. They're privy to something that I'm not to, a lot, everything that I'm not to. So recently, there was a video out where supposedly Burkina Faso via Ibrahim Traore was offering visas for black American people to come over there and live or whatever. Oh, I mean, if you can get there, go ahead. I wish you, much happiness. I wish you much happiness. But you've gone to Ghana, you've gone to Kenya, you have gone to especially Zambia, and come back to tell mostly very disturbing stories of your experience with Africans in Africa. Some of them, a lot of you, not some, have testified that you have been treated by, some of them have treated you like white people treat you. What you expect? What do you expect? You needed to experience this firsthand so it could break that romanticized delusion that you have in your head about these people. They are not like us. They are not us. And most of them are tribal, clannish, xenophobic, and racist all in one. I think about Dr. Umar. Maybe his heart is right, but when it comes to Africa and even Caribbeans and, West Indians or whatever, he is terribly delusionally mistaken. I don't know. I don't understand why he doesn't know better. There will never be, there never was, there ain't, and never will be a unity of all deeply melanated people worldwide. That don't even make any sense anyway when you think about it. It never was and it will never be. So I'm not saying this to make somebody change their mind about other deeply melanated people, because in this world, when the lighter skinned races, when we approach them on their territory and even in African territory, they look at us all the same. You just a NIWGA or NIWGER in Nigeria. You the same here in the States. You're the same in Europe. Ain't nothing but a WGER and a WGA in Asia. They pretty much treat us all the same. But that's not going to change the fact that there will never be overall unity between us. You might get a few people here and there, but hardly any to affect any serious change to the point where you have romanticized it in your mind. So I'm going to keep up with Burkina Faso because I was shaking when my spirit told me that, and it felt like it was a little hostile. Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if people go over there and take advantage of being invited by Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traore, supposedly. And when these people really get on their feet, revoke your passport and send your black butt back to the States or wherever. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that once they get through using you, because I think that when you come there, the way you talk, your arrogance irritates them anyway, whether they say it or not. But they look for ways that they can gain from you. And they do that anyway because Africa has its rich people, it has its middle class, but the poor in Africa is so pathetic. They don't have Section 8. They don't have welfare programs. They don't have WIC. They don't have child support, nothing. So a lot of the people are very, very desperate and in dire straits. And people in Africa they've seen this. Our people who've gone to Africa has seen this, and they try to tell you, don't be naive. Coming over here, try to find other Americans and get with them first, learn the ways of these people, let them school you on where to go, where not to go, who to chill with or how to chill or whatever, and stop being stupid. You can feel like you came from Africa on a slave boat, your great grandparents, all you want. You can feel that way. If it was totally true, it wouldn't even matter today, baby. That umbilical connection to Africa is done, gone, and it's over. Those people don't see you as their own unless they're trying to use you. Don't believe that. Don't believe that they see you as one of their own. Especially y'all going to countries that didn't have nothing to do with the damn slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, like South Africa, and acting like they sold you or you home among your people. Stop that madness. You need to go over there like a foreigner, just like you are, and stay in your place and shut up and let them talk and tell you how it is. And don't go over there flaunting. You have a lot of women, because a lot of our Black American women are just single, way up in age, single. No man, probably never had a man. You sit up there going to Africa, you are an easy target. You are a very easy target. It's just sad. Go, next time you see an African, act as if, until you meet them and they show you who they are and how they think and how they feel, you need to act as if you sitting in front of a Chinese. Because really, mentally, psychologically, and culturally, you are just that different from them. You don't have, the only thing you have in common with Africans is skin color and phenotype, nothing else. Their culture and way of living is way more closer to a Chinese person than to us. So, don't take this personal. I know a lot of us get emotional because, a lot of reasons, mainly because the way we've been treated here on our own land, the only land that we ever knew or known and know. Our parents never, grands or whatever, never told us anything about no Africa or coming from Africa. And you have this psychological homelessness that you're dealing with, and now you're all hurt. Feelings hurting on the ground because these people do not accept you like you would expect them to, and they don't have the same emotional attachment to you that you do to them. That's on you. That is on you. So I'm not going to act like I'm better or I'm above my people. I've been there too. I used to look at these people like they were just one of us, blackness, and it wasn't out of ill and hatred or anything. It's just the way we're socialized, honey. That socialization is destroyed forever because I know better. I had to have some very hard and painful experiences, but it helped me. It brought me back to a sense of reality when it comes to these immigrants, wherever they come from, and myself. We're not the same. We have our own struggles, we have our own needs, and we have our own destiny that is not necessarily linked. It's not linked. None of our destinies are linked. All right? So, I'm talking about as a people. Now, you might marry African, go to Africa, have African kids, and then they marry into Africa, and then your American bloodline is done. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as a whole and as a rule. We are different. So, let's be happy for African countries who can do better, but just leave it at that. Don't get too overly emotional or involved in what's going on in their specific countries and domiciles, okay? That's all I wanted to say. Peace.